What's going on with y'all, man? In this video, let's deep dive into the 48 Laws of Power. So this book right here, written by Robert Greene, author. He's older now. He's coming out with his final book, The Sublime. I'm looking forward to reading it. He's written the book Mastery, The Art of Seduction, and The Laws of Human Nature. This gem right here, this is basically a modern day Bible. This book is extremely popular amongst wealthy people, Hollywood, entertainment, the rap industry, and even everyday citizens have tapped in or at least know about this book. Extremely popular. You see the gold stamp right here. Possibly and probably a top 50 book of all time ever written. Up there with the Bible, the fucking Quran, the Torah, everything else. The 48 Laws of Power is that. So essentially, y'all, when it comes to power, it's four dynamics that you want to keep in mind. Domination and submission, love and fear. All of those four things and how you balance them and how you work with them and how you control them is essentially how you wield your power on this planet. We all have power. We all have influence. We all have what is known in Arabic are wasta. It's your fucking influence, your aura, it's your resonance, it's how you make people feel, it's how you can make people feel, X, Y, and Z. So yeah, we're gonna deep dive into this a little bit. I'm gonna start off by reading the preface and then I'm gonna just flip to some random laws and talk about it. The feeling of having no power over people and events is generally unbearable to us. When we feel helpless, we feel miserable. No one wants to be powerless. Everyone wants more. In the world today, however, it is dangerous to seem too power hungry. To be overt with your power moves, we have to seem fair, decent. So we need to be subtle, congenial, yet cunning, democratic, yet devious. Okay, boom, we can start there. Essentially, y'all, that is the control. That is the emotional intelligence. That's basically being strategic and tactical. A lot of y'all, a lot of us in this world, we just jump out with our ego, with our pride, with our energy. We ready. We the best. We feel that we the best. We ready to compete. We ready to post. We ready to share our music. We ready to fucking work out. We ready to share our art. We ready to go and just get money. We ready to be the smartest person that we can be. We ready to drop gems on fucking social media. Everything that we go through, y'all, that is kind of being overt with your power. It's kind of being too brash, a little bit too much ego. And of course, in this world, in this hierarchy, in this fucking hierarchy of success and power and dominance and popularity, you kind of got to fit in and play the game. So first and foremost, the biggest thing I can tell you, this right here is an occult book. This is an occult book. Occult simply means the hidden. It is the psychological, it is the ubiquitous energy, the ever-looming present circumstantial energy, the cause and effect of life. It is what is happening behind the scenes. The how did this happen? How does these things add up? That's the occult. So you dive into the occult, you dive into the unknown, you dive into the shadow to understand and better figure out the hidden, which is truly the nomenon before the phenomenon, the physical manifestation of the phenomenon that you see in the world. The noumenon is the spiritual happening in the background. You could also say that it's all happening in the astral realm. We think thoughts and our energy creates things up in the astral realm, then we bring it down into the physical world. And that applies to everyone's egos, everyone's thoughts and beliefs, everyone's attitude toward life, the things that people feel and their attachments, their beliefs, their agreements. That's all the ego. As I should have mentioned in the last video where I talked about the ego being your best friend and worst enemy, it's all of your beliefs and agreements. That's why that book, The Four Agreements, is another Bible. The Four Agreements simply being take nothing personal, be impeccable with your word, always do your best, and make no assumptions. That's because when you believe and you start to agree to things, you literally just create it in your reality. All of the words that we use, all of the symbols, everything, man. So be very careful with it. 70,000 thoughts in a day, 16,000 spoken words. All of those vibrational frequencies of sounds and mental thoughts literally just create your reality. So choose wisely. All right, boom. Yeah, they said you got to be democratic. Ultimately, the word is diplomatic. It's basically knowing how and when to fit in with the energy of other people, knowing when and where to say this, to say that, A lot of this definitely comes down to controlling your relationship. Simple thing for y'all to understand for men and women. You are either the dominant or the submissive in your relationship. You either the leader or the follower. No relationship is 50-50. So somebody is leading it. Somebody wants more from the other person. Someone is getting more from the other person. And the other person is there to follow and submit to the leadership and the will of the other person in the relationship. Whether it's man or women, heterosexual, homosexual, whatever relationship form that you're in, that's how it goes. Now, that's your intimate and personal relationships. You got to apply the 48 laws of power to that. So that's a simple rule of thumb. If you're a woman, 9 times out of 10, you submitting to your man, and you should be doing that and knowing how to do it well. The first law is to not outshine the master. So even if you see that his leadership is a little bit rocky and unstable in certain ways, you still should not outshine him or threaten his ego, because it'll create turmoil within, and then you basically are creating turmoil for yourself. And same thing for the men. If you are dominant, or women, if you are the dominant role and position and leader in your relationship, then you need to absolutely lead with power and strength and truth and facts and control. And this book right here will help you get to it. So yeah, this book basically exists because we live in a controlled society. This book exists because we live in a world that is based in violence, corruption, fear, greed, envy, all of the crazy shit. We're not living in a natural world. We're not living amongst nature. But then even the people that fucking promote us to live in nature and amongst the trees and just eat the fruit and drink the water and the coconuts, man, and just live free and just live in the bliss reality, man. God and Yah, we derive the energy from the sun. It is us, it is life, it is air. We must breathe in the prana, breathe in the prana. If we weren't living in a controlled, power-based society, we would fucking have to fight lions. We would have to fight packs of wild animals. If all of the animals in the world wasn't getting extinct and captured and put in zoos, and then they would just be roaming and fucking with us and our family. So it's a pick your poison reality that we living in. And that's okay. So boom, y'all, let's dive a little bit deeper into it. Because again, you see, it's always a polarity flip. It's always a split within your mind. It's always going to be a split within your spirit. Part of you is going to want to be godly and evolution based and thinking about the spirit and life and the sun and nature and love. Then your ego is going to want, desire, manifest, material, possessions, greed. It's truly just your demon versus your angel. And that's what you have to balance. And that is all encapsulated and encoded in this book and just in the term power in itself. All right, let's go a little bit further. Today we face a particularly similar paradox to that of the courtier. Everything must appear civilized, decent, democratic, and fair. But if we play by those rules too strictly, if we take them too literally, we are crushed by those around us who are not so foolish. As the great Renaissance diplomat and courtier Niccolo Machiavelli wrote, any man who tries to be good all the time is bound to come up to ruin amongst the great number who are not. All right, boom, bam, bang. You see, y'all, in my past 130 videos, I simply lay out the structure of the world. I simply lay out the root chakra, and all of my content is a library for you to refer back to. Yes. So when I say that, I've told y'all about Satanism. I've told y'all how violent and aggressive this world is. I told y'all that we're all vampires. I tell y'all that this whole fucking world is just about feed and eat and fight and aggressive and take and defend and protect at the basis of it. Of course, that civilized manner that we all live in, that's just the society. That's just how we get along. That's just how we keep the functioning money system and everything in order. The structures, the buildings, the economy, and y'all know this shit very well. But I have to lay out the basis of it for you to be able to refer back to it and break it down. How to maintain a free mind in a controlled society. It all stems because everyone has been programmed in an egoic way. All right, boom. Yes, to the people that are not so foolish, people that are not naive, people that are not good. This world is about good versus evil people. So it's evil people out here. Absolute evil people in this world. They want to fucking take from you, They want to kill you. They want to hurt your family. They want to steal from you. They want to put you down. They want to talk down on you. And they just been satanically programmed, and they move with a satanic mindset. Satanic mindset, I could basically just say evil, violent, corrupt, a bad fucking fucked up person, okay? Boom. Niccolo Machiavelli, the French dude, I don't know if they said 1700s, 1800s, or 1600s. Poet, writer, whoever. If this figure even existed in history, or he's just somebody that we refer back to. Clearly, I challenge history, and clearly I want y'all to as well. But for the sake of keeping up with the zeitgeist of humanity and culture, I will just say what's said in this book. Another clear split and delineation. The occult goes deep, because this is an occult book, but to truly occultically decode and think deeper and even more dimensional, as Robert Greene promotes in his book Mastery, you got your conventional mind, which is your logical mind that just accepts and goes with the number-based things that is you're used to doing that everyone else does. It's your left brain. And then you have your right brain, which thinks creatively, which thinks in a generative manner, which thinks in a dimensional 3D, like a cube, rather than a 2D flat square. And of course, to think dimensionally, you have to challenge and fucking question everything, and even question the historical narrative that you get. Because fucking in 300 years from now, if they tell you that everybody was just complicit with COVID-19 and the whole world had to wear a mask and everybody just went along with it, and then things just went smooth, and then AI came and became an intricate part in our society, you would look at that shit like, that's not how it went down. A lot of people was fighting back against it, but people was just too scared to revolt against the government. And the police and military just stayed right there fucking complicit and listening to their orders. All right, boom, bam. Niccolo Machiavelli. So, the term Machiavellianism, y'all, the triad, basically is three parts to it: psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism. So Machiavellianism is the one that you may not be too familiar with. You may not have a true image and definition of, but basically look at it like political. Look at it like your political greed, your political power. You'll want to be seen as the person that's right, that's true. You want followers. You want a lot of dominance. You want that political influence. That has a lot to do with being diplomatic, fitting in, saying the right things, playing the power game correctly. That's your Machiavellianism. And you really must control your emotions to be extremely Machiavellian. So, okay. Number two is your psychopathy, which is essentially just your obsessiveness. You being a fucking psychopath, you not caring about the emotions and thoughts and feelings of others, you just being for you. Aggressive, pure on your shit. It's just like extreme mental identification, extreme chronic, rapid mental thought processes that's just identified with your own beliefs, not considering the thoughts of other people. And it's like chronically that. You don't even care to associate with other people. But the interesting thing about life, y'all, even psychopaths and murderers, one thing that you'll hear in a certain spiritual text, or I don't know what book I've read it in, even if they was to hold a newborn baby, they would feel some bliss. They would feel some peace, some happiness. So that energy of a newborn baby is that real elixir. It's that real, like, God damn, life is precious. Oh my God, what is happening? Oh my God, my feelings, these emotions. Babies have an actual chemical that they give off that make us feel that way, that make us get that soft and gentle and compassionate. So even if you was to hand a fucking murderous Jason psychopath a baby, that motherfucker is gonna be like, oh my God, life, I'm sorry for everything I've done. Oh my God, life is so precious. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind and be aware of. And then number three on that Machiavellianism, it's called the dark triad. It is the dark triad of people that are just fucking dark, manipulative, crazy. The presidents, the politicians, shit, rappers, actors, social media people, shit, your badass cousin that you know that's stealing cars, niggas that's robbing, niggas that's shooting. That shit is all the dark triad, and it's a mixture of Machiavellianism, because everything is politics. So to be political just means to talk politics, meaning you sitting around conversing. Yeah, nigga, it's like this. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, nigga, I don't know. I did it like that because I would have did it like this, but he did it like that. So I'm trying to do it like this way because over here on this way, we like this. And white people, yeah, man, you know, the stock exchange is in this way, so maybe we should move our investment scheme over here. And then, oh yeah, Susan, she has to be managed. And then, yeah, oh, if we get Brett to set it up over here, then maybe we can get a better type of infrastructure, more advertisement to be on our side, and then more sales, more money, more graph, more expenses. Quarter 4, guys, Q4 is the home run. It's the yearly quarter, year to date. Our sales need to be up. Politicking. So that's Machiavellianism. It comes in many different forms. Women do it too. Gossiping. Oh, that nigga ain't shit. He over there. Why did he do this? Why is he acting like this? Girl, I've been told you to leave that nigga. He is not there. He is not who you think. I've been told you he is. You need to be free. You need to focus on you. Woman love. You don't need no man. We is independent women. We don't need no niggas. Parents. You need to go to school. You need to be fucking focused on your work. You need to be having a college degree, son. You need to be more responsible. You need to take care of your kids better. Your kids should have more clothes. Your kids should have way more than what you're giving them. You shouldn't have all of them kids in that small apartment. You need to have your woman with some stuff. Son, if you don't be a good man, then that woman will not love you. That woman is going to leave. That woman is, women have a heart that is made of stone and they will turn away. Politicking, oftentimes in good faith, because this life shit is a battle and a hierarchy, but we all must get down to our own individual game and answers. But that politicking is going to go on, but that is people's Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and at the very last one is narcissism, self-obsession, just looking in the mirror, constantly vanity, constantly thinking about self. That is the dark triad: psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism. Now, we must all balance those things. We must all balance those things. We must balance them, and this book helps us do it. So again, law number 1, as y'all may be extremely familiar with, never outshine the master. This is a pivotal law and one that I've finally accepted and really have adapted into. Essentially, y'all, it's just about controlling your emotions. It's about controlling your ego when you get some perceived disrespect, when you get that feeling like, oh, I don't like this nigga, I don't like her. They challenging me and they don't know me. They don't know who I am. Let me show them who I am. Soon as you want to show somebody who you are, you about to outshine the master and fuck up the first law. They're the quote unquote master for a reason, but they're really just your superior or a little bit higher up in the hierarchy. You can easily surpass any and every one through strategic, cerebral intention into how you create your reality and create yourself and control your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Cerebral, you can change your life, but this shit outshining the master, no good. So let's just flip through a decent amount of them. Outshining the master again, y'all, in any setting, entrepreneurship, your new job, like especially in a relationship, even if you are the dominator in a relationship, if you're the leader, don't outshine the master that is the submissive. Don't outshine the master in their emotions. Don't outshine the master in their shadow. Don't outshine the person that is there to be your follower, to be listening to you. Don't outshine them in your brash, crazy, egoic attachment and beliefs and ideas and thoughts and grandeur about self. Just don't outshine. You really have to control your shine. You control your energy. You truly have to control. It's a huge game of balance and control. Law number 2, never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Judgment. Be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become spoiled and tyrannical. But hire a former enemy, and he will be more loyal than a friend, because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. Interesting law. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. So yeah, we can easily get down to that. Trusting in friends, trusting in anybody is damn near a foul, because you never know what somebody's thinking. You'll never know what somebody's doing. Of course, the closer you are and the better you know self, the better you'll know other people and the better you'll know where to place your trust. But it's all a gamble. Trust is a gamble. Placing your trust in somebody is a gamble. So when you trust in friends, if you got like 5 super close friends, and then you got 10 acquaintances, and you got 20 associates. And if you placing your trust in all different categories differently, then it's going to be some mismingling in your life. It's going to be some disillusionment in your reality when you come to find out that these people ain't who you thought they was. And ultimately, you really have to cut slack, because a lot of people just don't know self. They don't study self, they don't study life. So you have to study self and study life, and then you won't even blame other people for your mistakes. You'll just blame yourself for placing your trust in them when you shouldn't have even did it in the first place. You should have had the foresight, the intuition. You should have saw through it. You should have been able to think clearer outside the box, blah, blah, blah. But that trust is a motherfucker, as Tupac said on the Future album. So be careful with that. Now learn how to use your enemies. That's all about the control and submission and domination. Your enemies only are your enemies because they see you as something that they are not. So the deeper that you become what you are, or the deeper that you kind of become what they are, and even just chameleonize yourself into a view of something that they would like and like to see, then that's how you can use your enemies. And then shit, either get them on your side, get them on your team, get them to like what you're doing, get them to fuck with your movement. Very, very intricate and deep law, but pivotal at the same time. Law 3, conceal your intentions. Now this is key, because a lot of y'all wear y'all pride on y'all sleeve. A lot of y'all is thirsty to let the world know what you're doing. A lot of y'all is thirsty to be seen, be heard, everything. You want people to just be in your mix. You want people to know what you're doing. And I fell victim to this myself. Always telling and sharing your goals. Now, what's the opposite side of that? It keeps you accountable. If you're telling people you're going to do all of this big shit, you're going to end up studying and meeting the mark of your subconscious programming, in which the image that you've portrayed to people. Or you're going to fall below the mark, and then you're just going to suffer from demons and depression, potentially. So, yeah, concealing your intentions has a lot of great benefits, but not concealing your intentions also is not a bad thing. You just kind of got to go harder and be stronger. All of this shit is about strength. Let me really say that. Every single thing is going to be about strength in this world. Basically, like your kids, your relationship, how you dealing with life, all of the things that you can't control, you simply must be strong in your mindset. You simply must be strong in how you see your thoughts. 70,000 thoughts per day, y'all, and 16,000 spoken words. So you got to speak power into yourself, that self-empowerment. Power, and strength, and power. Get it, devour. All right, so yeah, conceal your intentions. Let's look at the judgment. Keep people off balance and in the dark, never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you're up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late. Now, that's a very manipulative, covert, Machiavellianist type of law, but very applicable. Again, y'all, it's a crazy, vampiric, power-driven, greedy, envious, control freak world that we live in, and at the same time, sexually deviant and out of control as well. So it's a lot of mixed in things going on. So your intentions can very easily clash with other people's intentions, and then you can get into a fight, a verbal argument, a fucking heavier competition, rather than you concealing your intentions and then just allowing life to play out, just seeing what everyone else is doing, seeing everything fall out, seeing everybody show their hands slowly but surely, seeing where the chips fall, and then you can run around the obstacles. You can get to your goal, to your path, to your intentions, to your desires even faster and even better. Because a book like Think and Grow Rich, that's more so positive and is just gonna have you like, oh yeah, everybody, let's get together, let's love and have good business, let's just be free, let's just be open, let's just manifest, let's just live our desires, let's just have faith, let's just put faith behind work, everybody, and let's just think and grow rich. When you're moving around with that mindset and you are overt with it, that is easily not concealing your intentions, but at the same time, everybody is so deep down into anger and depression and sadness in this world that they strike angels down and try to bring them down to a demonic level. They strike at angels. So if you got that angelic high power frequency of success and prosperity and love and good intentions for all, And there's going to be some people ready to strike you down and ready to come for you in that energy. So that's why you want to be careful with that. Think and Grow Rich, another extremely popular book, and then 48 Laws of Power. This is like a good thing to read after you program yourself with something like Think and Grow Rich. All right, moving on to Law 4. I'll probably go through all 10 in this video and then move on to the next 10 and the next video and the next video and the next video. Oh my God, did I skip Law 4? Did he know? Oh my God, where'd he go? I see a nigga named Aldo. Hold on. What is it? Law 4. Say less than necessary. Now, this is one that I have definitely slaughtered as far as not adhering to. I've definitely fucked this law up a lot in my life. Saying less than necessary. When you just eager to share, when you eager for life, when your ego is eager, you gonna say a lot, and you can ruin the fuck out of your mystique. You can ruin the fuck out of your persona, your mask, it's a lot. But clearly now that I'm at a point in my life where talking is my job, I've fucking did all of my internal work, and I realized that I just am here to speak and tell the world truth with words and sounds. I can do it on the internet and it releases me. I don't have to say shit in person. I can be whoever and whatever the fuck I need to be and chameleonize myself in person as best that I'll ever need to in life, because I've definitely mastered this law in person. On the internet, now I truly just don't give a fuck, thankfully. But yeah, always say less than necessary, y'all. So for y'all on the internet, you need to apply it as well. You need to apply it as well. Whatever you're doing on the internet, whatever you are doing on the internet, if you are not getting into the realm of occultism and occult speaking and decoding natural law and truly helping people from a societal standpoint and telling them the conspiracy theories, telling them the truth about this reality, you may want to be very careful opening your mouth, because it's a very just fucking endless cycle that you'll keep people in. I'm here to break you free from the cycle and continue and better choose your life. I'm an oracle in that manner, but I want you to break free from the thought loops and cycles of everyone talking about politics and money and entertainment and relationships, and figure out that there's a bigger picture. There's a bigger hidden side of life in your own thoughts. And that has a lot to do with death and ego deaths. So I want to continuously help and guide y'all through that process. But mind you, I said it before, talking on the internet is going to be your biggest decision to make modern day, because a lot of people is out here trying to tell people how to live. No, don't do that. Don't fall and succumb into that. Truly, our heart is what leads us down that path. Our heart is what makes us want to help other people, is what wants us to express. You want to share with other people. You want to just drop some gems. Meanwhile, you could just be telling this shit to yourself and self-improving yourself and making money for yourself and applying all of these gems and all of the gems that you get from everyone else on the internet to yourself, to your own intentions. Because what you really will have trouble realizing is that people don't really fuck with nice people. And especially if your niceness is like intertwined with a little bit of pride and selfishness, people that have a real like, I don't need you type energy. I've experienced that myself from being lukewarm, truly. It's when you're just in the middle. You don't know what you want to do. You don't know if you want to help people, or you don't know if you want to just pursue and be yourself and be tied to your own ego, your own expression. Whether it's your music, your art, your comedy, your art, your sketches, your paintings, whatever you're doing, even if you're talking about finances or a certain thing on YouTube, that's cool. I'm not trying to tell y'all to not talk at all, but this is a very pivotal law. There's a lot of balance involved in always saying less than necessary, because the more you say, the more you're going to expose yourself. You're going to expose your darkness and your light. You're going to expose your nastiness. You're going to expose your niceness. You're going to expose your shadow, your happiness. You're going to make it easier for people to fucking penetrate you and take over. So talking on the internet and trying to give game, it truly stems from just the radio in general, just the news and politics. So even if you're not going to observe and watch the news and talk about worldly events, you really want to be careful and trying to give people game on how to live their life. I'm trying to say this shit with my best heart intent, because my goal is to really try to help y'all free y'all mind and then elevate and be able to choose what you want to do. Whether you want to be an artist, a rapper, a singer, this, that, the other. Now with faith, you can do anything. I want to let that be clear. You can create and do anything with faith. But these covert power laws that a lot of us can ignore in this internet world, being Gen Z, shit, however old you is, 60, 70, 50, 30, 40, whatever generation you in, we still be ignoring these power laws. And then you wonder why people don't like you. You wonder why people are not receptive to you, because you can just do work and not talk. That's why always saying less is important. I haven't even read the judgment yet, but I will. You can just work. Just do the work. Just do the thing that you're telling other people to do for yourself. And if you want money, if you want money, then cool. If you want to help people, then help them spiritually and politically and financially. And it's a lot of different avenues when it comes to helping people. I feel like I'm really good at helping people, and I'm going to continue helping people. And I want to help y'all make the decision. Do I want to be a talker, or do I want to be a comedian? Do I want to be an artist? Do I want to be a rapper? Or do I want to really give my whole self, my whole vulnerable, egoless, persona-less self to the world? Because that's a different level. And truly, like I said, if you mix faith with whatever you do, anything is possible. But yeah, I'm really want to get y'all to get to that level of awareness. Say less, always say less than necessary. Now in person, it's even more pivotal. It's probably just as pivotal as on the internet. Because on the internet, you can fuck up how people are perceiving you. And you can fuck up your likes and your algorithm and all of that shit by saying more than necessary. And then in person, you can just make people not like you because you stepped outside of their perception of you. They already had a docile, easygoing, calm perception of you, where you really could have gotten everything that you wanted if you just didn't outshine them, if you just didn't outshine their intellect, if you just didn't outshine their presence and their aura and their ego. You could have just stayed a little bit down underneath, right where they like you. Then you could easily benefit and have an easier going, successful relationship in whatever setting or environment. But because you are saying more than necessary, you end up having people looking at you a different way. You end up having people sensing and knowing something different about you. Then they begin to imagine different things about you. Then they get to try you and tempt you and fuck with you and threaten you. And then all type of different shit happens because you didn't just keep concealing your intentions and your words and your thoughts and your energies and your desires. And same thing goes with on the internet. That's why it's a very pivotal game. But yeah, I've said it before. If you want to talk and really help people, get into occultism, get into natural law, get into mysticism, get into studying religions and spirituality and politics, because that's the only way to truly guide someone in this world in decision making. To educate just means to draw boundary lines and help someone with what to do with those boundary lines. So yes. Judgment. When you are trying to impress people with words, the more you say, the more common you appear and the less in control. Even if you are saying something banal, it will seem original if you make it vague, open-ended, and sphinx-like. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. So yes, I've mastered that law in person, thankfully, and on the internet, it don't even fucking matter because I'm young CT, the Gen Z occult speaker. And shout out to y'all for fucking with the kid. Like I said, this is an occult book, so it's actually kind of pivotal that I go over it. Wanted to start this Monday off. It's the third week of the year, 2020 success. On to Law 5. So much depends on your reputation. Guard it with your life. Now, this is a pivotal law of duality, because the more you are attached to your self-image, your reputation, your persona, your ego, your attachments, your achievements, the people in your life, everything that you've done, every place that you've been, the more that you stay attached to that, the heavier and harder it can be to truly free your mind and free yourself from this material world, from, your spiritual freedom and enlightenment and liberation and mental peace. The more that you stay attached to your reputation, that can be troublesome. So let's read this before I decode it myself, because I am a bit attached to my reputation and my legacy. That's why I'm so particular with the shit that I give to y'all. Reputation is the cornerstone of power. Through reputation alone, you can intimidate and win. Once it slips, however, you are vulnerable, and it will be attacked on all sides. Make your reputation unassailable. Always be alert to potential attacks and thwart them before they happen. Meanwhile, learn to destroy your enemies by opening holes in their own reputations. Then stand aside and let the public opinion hang them. God damn. That's what I used to do to niggas. Now, not so much. I don't care to be that sly, dark, triad, subtle manipulator, string puller, making your reality do this because you thought I was this, but no, I'm really this. I don't have much need to do that no more. I'm trying to help all people grow, and I'm trying to grow myself. So look, y'all, law motherfucking 5. Conceal your reputation. Guard your reputation. It means a lot. So I'm still kind of struggling with this one because my reputation is kind of like, I don't give a fuck about. I'm so focused on what I control and who I am. But the reputation is important. I think I have a good reputation regardless of whatever. So I don't know. I can't relate to a bad reputation. But it's really just how you perceive yourself, truly. Your reputation is just how you perceive yourself. So this law is actually like it's interesting. But I guess in the realm of society and the ego and people and finances, money, power, followers, people that care about that shit, I'm a spiritualist, I'm an occultist, I'm a young nigga, I get money, and I want to motherfucking help y'all free y'all mind. And that's what I care about, knowledge, truth, and education. Simple as that. But reputation, who really gives a fuck? Who truly gives a fuck? Like, that's a very interesting one. But I guess if you in a business environment, in a work environment, just make your reputation somebody that's Jesus Christ. It's up to you. How do you choose? That's what it is. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm not here to tell you how to create your reputation. I'm not here to tell you what you should care or think about your reputation. And I don't ever want to do that. But as long as you good with your reputation, fuck what everybody else got to say about your reputation. Law 6, court attention at all costs. Everything is judged by its appearance. What is unseen counts for nothing. Never let yourself get lost in the crowd, then or buried in oblivion. Stand out. Be conspicuous at all costs. Make yourself a magnet of attention by appearing larger, more colorful, more mysterious, and than the bland and timid masses. I think I've done this in person, but I don't care to do it that much on the internet. So, interesting law. Court attention at all costs. I can really minimize this down to looks maxing, but looks maxing in your own unique way. Not trying to fit in with what society says you should look like, what society says your hair should look like, what society says you should talk like, how society says you should dress, how men fashion fucking YouTubers and vlogs and magazines saying you should dress, how women's fashion and vlog and influencers are saying you should dress. You need to find your own fucking swag. You need to find your own sauce. You need to find your own unique imprint. You need to get your own unique tattoos. You need to get your own unique hairstyle. You need to ultimately not give a fuck what other people think about you and what you're wearing, but court that attention at all costs, but make sure your attention is essentially the attention that you want. Make sure people's perception of you is the perception of you that you want. In person, you can control that very well just by controlling your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Repeatedly, repetitively, you do that, and then you literally just power up your astral body, you power up yourself, and people have no choice but to perceive you in a certain way. Okay, so that's kind of how you can do that. But when it comes to the camera, social media, I guess this is applying to do the same thing. Court attention at all costs. So you can post as much as you want, you can share as much as you want, do whatever you want with that attention, because attention is a currency. Meat, money, energy, attention, and time. The 4 currencies, the 4 main big currencies. Shout out Coach Greg Adams. But that doesn't just apply to men, that applies to women too. This world wants your meat. This world wants your attention. Attention is the spiritual currency. So truly what you put your attention on, what you focus on, So if you looks max, if you maximize your physical body and then you maximize your own internal unique individual swag to the point where it's where you like it and you wear it's where you want other people to perceive it too, that's control. And when you maximize that, then you can truly start to move powerful, control your reality, control the attention that you feel and that you get from other people. And that's kind of the name of the game. But on social media, I guess it's just get the most and best attention. All negative attention and good intention is going to help you get famous. It's going to help you get more followers, more people. So if you're saying controversial shit, if you're saying good shit, if you're saying entertaining shit, if you're just talking a bunch of shit, if you're seeing in embarrassing clips, whatever it is, even on your social medias, I guess to court the most attention is good for you. Me, I'm a little different. I want to court the attention to be exactly how I want it to be. But that's just the CTRL frequency. So yes, court all attention. Law 7, get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Goddamn. Judgment, use the wisdom, knowledge, and legwork of other people to further your own cause. Not only will such assistance save you valuable time and energy, it will give you a godlike aura of efficiency and speed. In the end, helpers will be forgotten and you will be remembered. Never do yourself what others can do for you. Interesting. Now, this is actually probably worth reading into to decode it a little bit more, but get others to do the work for you. That's actually extremely manipulative and some dark NLP shit. You can actually get people to do what you want because all people want the same thing. Everybody wants to feel liked, valued, appreciated, respected, loved, cared for, and they want some attention, they want some flattery. So if you can submit to your enemies, to your coworkers, to your relationship, to your whoever, if you can submit to their energy, you can get people to do what you want in a very covert way. And once you end up saying too much or revealing your intentions, not keeping your intentions sealed, which was, I think, Law 3, then you kind of jeopardize that. You can fuck up that level of getting people to do the work for you, whatever the work is, whether it's carrying some shit, whether it's talking to somebody, whether it's sacrificing themselves, whether it's literally at a job and you end up making them do something that you don't want to do. That's some real subtle psychological dark NLP manipulation, but you have to know thyself. You have to be in tune with your own emotions. You have to know what you will want in a situation, what would make you do something and would make them want to help you. Very subtle, very low key, very masterful of your emotions and in control of your emotions. Law 8, make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. When you force the other person to act, you are the one in control. It is always better to make your opponent come to you, abandoning his own plans in the process. Lure him with fabulous gains, then attack. Hold your cards. Another manipulative, hold your cards, conceal your intentions, say less than you need to say mindset. Hold your cards close to your chest. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. So essentially, attract, don't chase. Become the light and then let all of the nets and the insects come to the light. Again, y'all, this is a vampiric feeding ground. So the more energy that you possess, the more light, the more truth, the more aura, the more money, the more cash, then those things, the people, the energy, the whoever will attract to you. And that's how you make the people come to you. Don't chase, but attract. And ultimately, it's about not being greedy. It's about not being overtly aggressive, but it's also about not being attached to your ego. That is actually, because it's like when you're attached to your ego, you're damn near attached to a little bit of darkness. The more you detach from your own ego and your own persona and you do things that's you maybe wouldn't have done in the past because it's like your ego was just holding you back, whether as working at a certain job or talking in a certain way or just letting something slide or letting somebody talk to you in a certain way, or even if somebody just wronged or disrespects you. If you used to be like, oh, I got to say some shit. Oh, I got to defend myself. You're chasing and you attach to your ego. Detach from your ego and just watch how you lighten and watch how more people attract to you because you have that light. You got that calm. You got that serenity, that peace. But soon as that ego creeps in, you literally repulse other people. Bing, bam, boom. That's Law 8. make others come to you. Use bait if necessary. Bait could be the fashion, the money, the trinkets, the followers, the esteem, the status, the prestige, everything that you possess. Your aura is the bait that you use to attract people to you. Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. So that's big facts. That's actually the law of polarity right there in plain sight. Win through your actions, win through work, win through doing the thing, become, show. Don't always tell. Stop having to tell, improve, and need validation. Just do the work. Just show, improve. Chop wood, carry water. This whole life is just work. So do the work, shut your mouth, and don't talk about it so much. Become the thing. You don't need to prove, you don't need to argue. When you end up getting into that mindset of proving and arguing, trying to tell people how to do some shit, trying to tell people how to be, trying to tell people what you gonna do, you basically are rooted in your ego and you rooted on the polarity. You're rooted on the scale of the pole and you're just attached. You're fucking attached and you're not just doing the thing. You could just tell yourself, you could just go to a mirror and argue with the mirror. Instead, you want to go to another person or this internet and tell them what to do or what you gonna do. So just do the work. Say less and do the work. Win through your actions, never through argument. Because it's always going to be somebody else arguing. It's always going to be another side of the fence. It's always going to be another polarity split. It's always going to be a duality, somebody else arguing against what you're saying, somebody that's in contradiction with what you're saying, with what you're doing, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether they like it, whether you like it, whether you didn't like it as much, whether they didn't like it as much, whether you saying it and you thought it was going to be beneficial to everybody, but then it ended up not being beneficial and some people didn't like it and people didn't fuck with it. It's always going to be somebody arguing. So argue with yourself. Don't argue. It's always going to be an argument. It's always going to be a debate. It's always going to be somebody ready to argue your religious stance, your stance on philosophy, your stance on relationship, your stance on money, your stance on whether this looks good or that looks good, whether you should have posted it this way or that way, whether you shouldn't have said it this way. It's always going to be somebody ready to argue. So yes, y'all, argue with yourself, argue with the mirror, argue with your brain. The biggest debate is within. Don't extend that debate outwardly. But when you get the answer, when you figure out what to do the work, do the thing. Consistent, constant consistency. The judgment. Any momentary triumph you think you have gained through argument is really a Pyrrhic victory. The resentment and ill will you stir up is stronger and lasts longer than any momentary change of opinion. It is much more powerful to get others to agree with you through your actions without saying a word. Demonstrate. Do not explicate. Now I can actually do a better job with this myself, and that is the goal. Demonstrate. Don't explicate. Just be the thing. Become the thing you want to be. Become the thing you're talking about. Yeah, and you stir up so much emotion, so much energy in others just by always talking, always posting, always using words and not actions. I get it. And content creation, these videos, making videos, it is action rather than just making a tweet or just talking about the action that you plan on doing. That's actually the other crazy part. So just get down to it, y'all. My job is to speak and give y'all this occult awareness and perspective. So I'm doing the action and I'm actually being consistent in my job, in my career, in my journey, in my soul, in my mission. But for y'all, if you get on camera to talk about the action, to talk about the thing, or to tell people about what they should be doing, you should damn near just reconsider saying it to yourself. Just say it to you and then you do the thing. That's what this law is implying. All right, y'all. Law 10, last law of the video. I appreciate y'all for sticking with me. Leave a 10 in the comments if you've gotten this far. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Judgment. You can die from someone else's misery. Emotional states are as infectious as diseases. You may feel you are helping the drowning man, but you are only precipitating your own disaster. The unfortunate sometimes draw misfortune on themselves. They will also draw it on you. Associate with happy and fortunate instead. The unfortunate sometimes draw misfortune on themselves. God damn. So, man, some people are unfortunate, but then they can actually draw more misfortune onto themselves through their thoughts. Now, that's just really detailing how fucked up life can be. But at the same time, the unhappy and the unlucky are those with a bad attitude toward life. They have a bad attitude toward life, toward the job, toward the setting, toward the state, toward the city that you in, toward their relationship, toward their life, toward their finances. Just got a bad fucking relationship. So you want to avoid them at all costs. You truly do, because you can't change them with words. All you can do is bring them up to your frequency, and sometimes that'll help, but they truly have to change themselves. That nasty, fucked up, bad attitude, that bad energy that people is running with at your job, your family, your parents, your coworkers, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, that negative attitude toward life, no matter what the situation is, somebody can always have a positive attitude. That's how you know it's all mental. It's all subconscious. It's all beliefs. It's all the emotional state that a person is agreeing to that's making their emotions and their mental state bad. So be very, very careful with that, y'all. Be extremely careful sticking around and being with unhappy and unlucky people. Just say that you lucky and then you become lucky. Just say that it's good and everything becomes good. Just say it's all right and everything becomes all right. Mental programming, you create your reality. I'm lucky. We lucky. Stay lucky, y'all, and stay away from the unlucky. Stay away from the unhappy. But just know, if you in a job force and you got to work with unhappy people, then that means all you have to fucking do is look at them and know that that negative attitude, that negative self-image, that negative beliefs and thoughts about life, and that always continuously saying negative things, that continuous usage of not seeing the positive side in things and people and situations, that's going to keep them rooted in that same job, that same reality, that same constant cycle of emotions. So you have to start controlling it your own self, subconsciously. Remember, 70,000 thoughts per day. So you subconsciously just program yourself with good and successful and controlled thoughts. And 16,000 words spoken per day. So it's all creating your reality. You can just mirror back people in their negative self-imagery, their negative self-talk, but then you're also creating it a little bit yourself. So you can also positively reflect and give to people. And that'll raise their vibration a little bit, but it's on to them whether they take it and continuously choose that positive vibrational path. Just as it is up to us to continuously choose that positive high vibration path. Because the unhappy and unlucky is simply just the mindset. It's simply just the attitude toward life. If they believe they're unhappy, if they believe they're unlucky, if they believe bad things always happen to them, if you believe that bad things are always happening to you, then ashe, so be it. So mote it be. Let thy will be done. You must be extremely careful with that. You can die from someone else's misery. Emotional states are as infectious as diseases. You may feel you are helping the drowning man, but you are only precipitating your own disaster just by trying to help somebody, just by getting caught up in a relationship with somebody that you kind of can see that they may not be as in control and empowering of their own life. They may not be ready to succeed and ready to do the things that it requires for success, but your heart is so attached to them and wanting to help them and wanting to bring them up. It is what it is, y'all. That is this game of life. But applying these laws, applying these understandings can really help. So in the next video, I'll go over the next 10. And we gonna win again and again. Y'all stay absolutely godlike. Have a great Monday. It's fucking Martin Luther King Day. Shout out to that CIA agent. Stay sharp, y'all.